If you have been enjoying the Olympics all day and you're just joining us, we now have 4 wildfires burning along the Front Range, all of them uncontained.
Another fire broke out in the last couple of hours on the Front Range near Gross Reservoir in Boulder County, the Lakeshore neighborhood. Overnight, the quarry fire broke out in Deer Creek Canyon in Jefferson County. The Stone Canyon fire near Lyons sparked yesterday afternoon, and we learned at least 1 person died. And the Alexander Mountain fire near Loveland has been burning since Monday.
So again, a look at the locations. The Alexander Mountain fire to the north, 10 miles to the south. The Stone Canyon fire, which started yesterday. The Lakeshore fire is brand new. It is only a couple of hours old, burning southwest of Boulder. The quarry fire started last night west of Chatfield State Park, and that started at about 9 p.m. last night. Now, Sky 9 has been over the Lakeshore fire. Again, this is the newer one that is burning southwest of Boulder, and sadly, one of the areas we've been watching has been this remnants of a home clearly claimed by the fire.
We've also been watching firefighters do an amazing job right around that area, protecting the home that is so close. First reports came in as a fire burning between 2 homes, and that's all we heard. And now we see this. We know many people have been evacuated in that area, and Flagstaff Road has been closed. Our Rachel Krause is on the ground near that fire. You're off baseline right now, and they're not letting anybody get through. Rachel.
Well, Kim, that actually changed just in the past 5 minutes or so. We've seen police officers here with Boulder. They're opening up baseline just to residents. You got to be able to prove that with a photo ID, but they have now been letting residents through onto Baseline Road. Now, officers on the scene couldn't say exactly how far up residents would be allowed, but they did say it appears right now the fire seems to be holding in the same area, which is great news. Now, we're still 10 miles from this fire that's burning, and that's due to very limited road access up to the area. Firefighters and first responders are continuing to make their way up to this area, ready to fight the Lakeshore fire. No word yet on how big this fire is or when it started, but soon after it was reported, crews in Boulder County jumped into action. Just before 3 o'clock, the order down evacuations were needed of Gross Reservoir off of Lakeshore Drive. Those in the area of near Lakeshore Drive, near Gross west of Boulder, need to evacuate. By 4 o'clock, those evacuations expanded to the area west of Gross Reservoir along Magnolia Road. An evacuation point has been set up. That's over at 1333 Iris Avenue in Boulder near Workforce, Boulder County. And we are expecting to get new details here from Boulder County officials on how the Lakeshore fire is going. We expect to get those details back in the next 45 minutes or so, and we will pass those updates and the information along to you just as soon as we get it. Reporting live in Boulder, Rachel Krause, 9 News.
All right, Rachel, thanks. As you were talking about, those evacuations have just been coming in the last couple of hours.
And our Steve Sager has been following that and watching that map expand as well.
Yeah, I want to show you how it expanded. First, we'll show you where folks could get in. This red line that kind of squiggles through, that's Flagstaff Road. Now, all of this area in yellow here is voluntary, but all of the red are mandatory evacuations. And this all started, the fire is burning right around this area, and that's about as big as the original evacuation order was. The fire's just to the north of Gross Reservoir, which is down below that red box. And so I think the concern of firefighters when we were first watching that from the air was a lot of the smoke was blowing straight to the west. And so pretty soon they expanded that evacuation order out here toward Barker Reservoir. It basically goes from Gross Reservoir to Barker Reservoir. Right before Nederland is where it stops. And they're telling folks, if you want to get out, to take the peak-to-peak highway. They want you to go through Nederland and then get out this way down the peak-to-peak highway. If I can trace it relatively well, I'll just stop there because I'm not very good at tracing. But this gives you an idea. They wanted people to move to the west because they were afraid that this fire was going to move to the west. But it was pretty wild to see that evacuation grow from a tiny circle just above Gross Reservoir out to the west toward Barker Reservoir, guys. Those evacuations are still in place, though it's a good sign that you're starting to see people be able to get up Baseline Road.
Yeah.
Just southwest of Boulder, again, the new one, the Lakeshore fire near Gross Reservoir. Boulder County Sheriff now saying there'll be a press conference in about 40 minutes with an official update about that. Thanks, Steve.
Yep.
A lot of folks probably getting that call while they're at work Others got that alert late last night, those in the quarry fire in Deer Creek Canyon.
Yeah, it is a very difficult area to work right now, including the fact that rattlesnakes are in that area as well. And 9 News reporter Lauren Scaffidi's been out there where the firefight is taking place in the air and on the ground, and many people have had to flee already. Lauren?
The sheriff's office says that the air support is really going to be the difference maker here. Chatfield Reservoir has been closed to boats today as 4 helicopters have come in to scoop water up and dump on that fire up there. One tanker was also dropping fire retardant. That thick smoke you see, though, has been billowing all day. The other winds at the quarry fire, no firefighters have been hurt and no buildings have burned. Right now, the focus is suppression, but if the fire burns closer to those neighborhoods, the focus will be on protecting those houses. Mandatory evacuations right now for Deer Creek, Mesa, Sampson, Maxwell, McKinney, and Murphy, and that's almost 600 homes. An evacuation shelter is set up right now at Dakota Ridge High School. Silver Ranch and Silver Ranch South are under a pre-evacuation. This massive fire started as a small 10-foot by 10-foot fire. A deputy found it while doing patrol work up there, but no word on what started it yet or how much is contained of the more than 200 acres burned. With 3 other big wildfires burning in Colorado today, and Colorado firefighters tackling fires in other parts of the country, resources are slim here, and there likely won't be any more coming.
Air support is probably where we need to be. Ground support, no. We're fighting this fire with about 75 sets of boots on the ground. We would much rather have a couple hundred, but we have what we have, and they're really getting after it out there. But no, we're not where we want to be.
The Jeffco Sheriff's Office says you're looking at some brutal terrain to fight a fire. They had to hike several miles to get there, plus it's really steep, a lot of loose rocks, and a lot of rattlesnakes. Live in Jeffco, Lauren Scafidi, 9 News.
Yeah, they've gone through a lot in the heat, we might add, severe heat.
We also continue our coverage of the other fires burning, including the one north in Boulder County. Officials there confirming 1 death and 5 structures that have burned in the Stone Canyon fire.
9 News reporter Jeremy Hahola is live in Lyons Forest. Jeremy, that was a tough news to hear this morning.
Yeah, but we do have some good news at this point. At this point, based on the latest updates, the fire doesn't seem to be exploding in its growth. It's still growing. Right now, we've been told we're at 1,500 acres, and that's compared to the 1,300 acre mark we were given this morning. So only a 200 acre growth. In the meantime, as you mentioned, Kim, yes, 5 homes have burned in this fire. And one of those structures, investigators have found human remains. They do not know the circumstances surrounding that yet. They have not identified that person. So now this is indeed a death investigation. But that's good news when it comes to the firefight. The fire does not seem to be moving towards the direction of Lyons. Yesterday there was evacuations initiated to the north part of town. Those have been lifted. People are able to go back home. And so far, no evacuations anymore just yet. The fire does seem to be moving towards the right direction, and that's towards the southeast, towards Rabbit Mountain. That's where there's not a lot of structures, and so that's what investigators are hoping for, at least in the next few days. Live in Lyons, Jeremy Hahola, 9 News.
Yeah, hang on to that. We want to talk about the weather, though. That's the most important thing.
Let's get right over to weather impact meteorologist Lauren Robinson for what's coming our way. Lauren?
Yeah, well, we do have more hot, dry weather ahead in our forecast. We take a look at our live radar. There's not a whole lot happening in the sky, but we do still have those 4 wildfires burning across the Front Range. Now, the not so good news is we're going to continue to be dry and very hot. The okay news is the winds have been somewhat mild, so these fires haven't been spreading as much as they could if we had been seeing gusty winds over the last few days. So we're going to continue to see more mild wind speeds really help us out as we go over the next few days. But what's not going to be helping us so much, these temperatures. Right now, we're in the 90s across most of the Front Range into the foothills here. And then those temperatures start to jump into the 70s and 80s as you make your way into the higher country. Where these fires are, relative humidity as low as 10 to 15%. That's extremely dry air there. And then again, the wind gusts helping us out just a bit. Even our windiest areas up in the high country only gusting around 20 miles per hour. So I'll have details on what this means, plus what the rest of your 7-day forecast will look like just ahead.